all of this is it's not simply a matter of conventional politics. It's also essentially about the matter of tells. Does Tony project himself as the kind of person who still has the command of the party? Or does he leak out little tiny indications of insecurity, suggestions that it's time for somebody else to take his place? Look at that. That is a typical Blair tell. It's one of his trademark gestures, but that's not his only one. He's also using a variety of precision movements in order to emphasize his point, and he's using this very distinctive gesture, which in effect is a way of presenting his knuckles. It's a high dominance gesture. Notice also that he's using various stabbing and cutting movements. These are very much his trademark tells, and they're all designed to create an impression of somebody who's in control and who's also a powerful politician.
You know, when the Tories lose an election now anywhere in the country, they say it's not their natural territory.
Tells teach you that clues are often to be found in places where we don't normally.
This year, last year, and next.
If you want to find out who's winning the poker game between Blair and Brown for the heart of the party, you don't necessarily look at Blair who's speaking, you look at Brown. It's said among political journalists that Blair and Brown are kept separate, so that you can't film them together. We took this rare opportunity to do something quite unusual. We studied Gordon Brown's tells during Tony Blair's speech. From the moment Blair appears on the podium, Brown starts producing distress signals. For example, looking down at the ground and pressing his tongue against his cheek. Brown's cufflink fiddle is a displacement activity. Here it's not a transition tell, but it's still a sign of anxiety. During the 50 minutes or so that Blair was on the podium, Brown plays with his cuffs 29 times, a sure sign that he's feeling anxious. Brown also produces a number of self-comforting and defensive gestures, like smoothing his hair, touching his face, biting his lip, and folding his arms.
It also means we are.
There are 55 rounds of applause during Blair's speech. If we do a little test and compare Brown with 3 of the ministers around him, we find that in 9 out of every 10 rounds of applause, Brown is either the last or the second last to start clapping. Not only is he late, but his lack of enthusiasm also shows in the slow tempo of his clapping. During Blair's speech, Brown produces a total of 322 discomfort tells. Most of these occur when Blair is riding high, when the audience is clapping or they're enjoying his jokes. When we look at the ministers nearby, we find that on average, they produce less than a fifth of the discomfort tells produced by Gordon Brown.